performance installation artist, and I graduated from Maryland Institute College of Art with a degree in painting, art history, and curatorial studies. But recently, my current work is mostly performance and some of sculptural-based work. It developed because I went to Korea for the first time last summer, and I guess I was really interested in the culture, and I've never knew about what the hairstyle was, the tangi mori was, and never knew what the funeral gown was, and just learning about the culture just changed my perspective on my own traditions and the traditions in Korea. And I guess from that, I started researching on specific things. It was developed over a 6-month period of time, and it started off with just sketches, and then changed into etchings, printmaking, and then it evolved into sculptures, and then finally it became a performance piece where I felt it was stronger if I had it as a performance. Well, my piece is called Upbraiding tradition because upbraiding means breaking apart. So it's breaking apart the tradition of the idea of women in Korea. So the hair, I don't think they wear it anymore, but the tangi mori, it used to be worn just by girls that were single, not married, what else, a virgin, and it was sort of telling the male that they're available, that they could be taken, and I just didn't like that. It was sort of putting them on a pedestal and saying, come and get me, labeling these women. And it wasn't just that hairstyle, it was other hairstyles. Once they got married, it was a different hairstyle, but it was just this particular one that I thought was giving the power to the men, and it was sort of saying, it's weakening the women's views. And so this hanbok, in this hanbok, it represents death, and it's worn at a funeral when somebody close to you passes away, and that hanbok was worn by each of the girls because it was sort of going to a funeral. They were going to kill their idea of being a virgin or a single woman, and killing the tradition of the hair. And so, which is why they cut the hair and then they put it in the glass jars, because it's sort of preserving them, preserving the past and the history of the hair, and it's sort of reminding them that this was the past, but now what I have on, a chopped hair, is the future, and this is what I am now. I don't need a man, I don't need to be labeled. Yeah, and by chopping it, it's sort of you don't, there's no hairstyle, it's just a chopped hair, and it's sort of the woman is not labeled anymore. You don't know if she's married, if she's a virgin, or anything, if she's rich or poor. So some people thought we were ghosts, some people thought we were a cult, some people thought we were some part of a religion or something, but I felt very vulnerable. I felt sort of it was very emotional, actually. But when the people were staring at us and looking at us strange and getting really disturbed, it felt negative. I think that ties in really well on how women felt back then. I mean, it's changed now in Korea. Women have more freedom and a voice, but I still feel not just Korea, other places in the world, women are still shunned and they have to be quiet. And